And we can find something about talents, because the way God has given you talents is also indicative of your purpose. Somebody who is supposed to be in the music industry or music ministry, there will be talents that are needed. Some might be vocal talents. Some might be ability to play instrument talents. Do you understand? Some might even be business acumen or how to properly package certain things. There is no place that God has ordained for you to function that He has not given you talents in potential that you must develop that will help you in that area. So, and we can find one of the scriptures about talents in the book of Exodus, chapter 31, from verse 1 to 5. Exodus chapter 31, from verse 1 to 5. In fact, some people are so gifted that they have numerous talents. He says, and the Lord said to Moses, see, I have chosen Belaziah, son of Uri, the son of Ur, of the tribe of Judah. Now watch this. He says, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom and understanding, with knowledge. Now, it now goes on. With all kinds of skills. So those skills are given by God. It's why I laugh, and I made us understand, even as we have been going, that the expression of God is not limited to morality. The expression of God is not limited to a church. There are people given particular skill sets, and God has given them those skill sets for them to function on earth. And if they refuse to use those skill sets, and they think all they have to do is just maybe be a minister or something in the church, they are missing God's purpose for their life, His full purpose. He says, and all skills, all kind of skills. Now look at what the skills are for. To make artistic design. Woo! So there are certain people that the gifts that God has given them is to make designs. When you look at Revelation, where it will give a dimension, you say, and there was one that sat on the throne, and he's on his crown there was emerald, there was this, and he wore a white robe, and his train filled the temple. It means that even in heaven, somebody took that measurement of God and sewed those clothes for God to wear. It means that even if God Himself is particular, if you look at Revelations, colors, designs, gold, different kind of materials, you hear God specifically talking about that. The God who created these things also created the ability for people to be able to design those things, and He has sent people like that on earth. If that kind of person now decides that he wants to be a pastor, and he has that part and he's not expressing it, I can bet you that guy will probably be a very hungry pastor, because he's working outside of design. That person will be a wanderer instead of a wonder. Do we get the point? Because as far as design also is concerned, God has a plan for that. If not, He won't put this kind of skill in somebody's heart. So He says He has given them all kinds of skills to make artistic designs for working. Now, this particular guy, his own working is in gold and silver and bronze. Some people might be in clay. Hallelujah. Some people might be in materials. He said to also cut and set stone. You know what is so amazing about this? God is specific about what He put inside this guy. Every creative expression that you find on your inside that can bring marvel to the eyes of people, that can bring comfort to the lives of people, is God that put it there, and it is part of your design. It can even be as simple as knowing the best kind of foodstuff to buy. Knowing the best kind of foodstuff to cure certain diseases. Do you know that's a gift? So I don't want to overflow talent. If you even look at Daniel chapter 1, you realize that when he even came to Daniel, oh boy, the king was specific about the kind of people he wanted. Beyond the fact that they were from a royal family, he said these ones must have wisdom. So in essence, let me explain it to you. It's not everyone born with wisdom sometimes. Or maybe they have their own kind of wisdom. But the kind of wisdom that is needed on a large scale, is not everyone born with it. If you find people who particularly have a particular kind of wisdom, it is part of their design. Hallelujah. I want to ask you a question. Do you think Samson had wisdom? Because as far as his design was concerned, wisdom wasn't needed. Everything is part of it. Everything is part of it. Everything is part of it. And every part of you must have full expression. You must not go to heaven full of potential that you did not express. Some of us, in terms of talent, our story is like that parable that Jesus Christ gave. That he was going on a far journey and he called some of his servants and he gave one 5. He gave another one 3. He gave another one 1. And like I like to explain, he said according to their ability, right? And beyond that, like I like to explain, God is not a partial God. Some of us, for us to fully give God glory, we need 5 talents. The equivalent of our 5 is the equivalent of another person's 3. The equivalent of another person's 3 is the equivalent of another person's 1. So for instance, let me give you an example. Imagine somebody, there are some of us, in fact, some of our biggest challenge, I have found that some of the biggest challenges of creative people is when they are multi-talented, they don't know how to combine. And most times, there is one that is the anchor talent and the others are complementary. Let me give an example. Let's say you have the gift of gab, for instance. Right? You are able to, there's something about you that you can talk. You are an orator. You now happen to find out that you also know how to sing. You also find out that for some reason, you are very good at acting. Do you know what God might be saying to you? All those things. Can you imagine? Please listen to this. Imagine you have a show or an event that is a combination of word of motivation or even teaching, music, and acting. If for any reason, your word of motivation, people don't want to pay for it, do you know that for the acting, people will pay for it? Maybe people are not even interested in the acting. Do you know your singing, people will pay for it? Do you even know that when you are now acting and singing, because you are somebody who knows how to speak and has some sense, the messages you'll be passing across will be very different from other people. And there's just one other guy. All he can do is make you laugh and he's very funny. He doesn't even talk. It's just the way he does his face. That same guy also, if he also does what he's supposed to do, the kind of height he gets to is the same kind of height that other person that has 5 talents also gets to. So your talents are deliberate. And parents, I beg of you, very early you begin to see your children have particular talents or particular interests in particular areas, begin to develop it. Begin to what? Begin to develop it.